Close your eyes for just 1 second. Now imagine this. You are sitting across from a hiring manager. The room is quiet. She looks at you, smiles politely, and says, "So, tell me a little about yourself." 3 seconds pass. Your mind goes blank. You know English. You have studied it for years. But right now, in this exact moment, the words will not come. Could you answer her in 3 seconds? Without translating in your head first? If you are not 100% sure, then this lesson was made for you. Hello, and welcome back to EFL USA, the home of practical English for life in America. If this is your first time here, my name is Sophie, and every single day I help people just like you build the real practical English you need to survive and succeed here in the United States. Not textbook English, not grammar rules nobody uses, but the actual words you need in the actual moments that matter most. And today, we are talking about one of the most stressful moments any newcomer to this country will ever face. English for work and job interviews. By the end of this lesson, you will know exactly what to say when someone asks about your qualifications. B. You will know how to talk about your availability without panicking. You will know how to answer questions about salary expectations with confidence instead of fear. And most importantly, you will have mouthed again and again. You will have practiced these exact phrases with me out loud so that when the real moment comes, your mouth already knows what to do, even if your brain is nervous. So, before we begin, if you find this kind of practical lesson helpful, please subscribe to the channel and tap the bell so you never miss a new episode. Now, take a deep breath, get comfortable, and let's begin. I want you to meet someone today. Her name is Anna. Anna moved to the United States 8 months ago. She studied English back home for almost 6 years. She can read English news articles without any problem. She can write long emails. But there was one thing Anna always struggled with, and that was speaking English under pressure, especially when someone was looking directly at her, waiting for an answer. Today, I want to walk you through exactly what happened to Anna last week, because I think her story is your story too. And more than that, I want you to learn the exact words that saved her. Anna had been looking for a job for almost 2 months. She had applied to more than 30 positions. Finally, one company called her back. A small accounting office needed a receptionist and administrative assistant. Anna was excited, but she was also terrified. The interview was scheduled for Tuesday morning at 10 o'clock. On Monday night, Anna could not sleep. She kept imagining the interview in her head again and again, but every time, in her imagination, she froze. She could see herself sitting in the chair, hearing the question, and saying nothing. Let's pause here for a moment. And I want you to listen to a sentence and then repeat it after me. This is what Anna was feeling that night. Listen, I'm so nervous about tomorrow, I can't stop thinking about it. Now, shadow it with me. I'm so nervous about tomorrow. I can't stop thinking about it. Good. This sentence is something you can use anytime you feel this way, before something important. An interview, a doctor's appointment, a phone call. Keep it in your pocket. The next morning, Anna got dressed carefully. She practiced her resume one more time in the mirror. She whispered to herself in English, trying to calm her nerves. When she arrived at the office, a woman at the front desk smiled and said, "Good morning. You must be Anna. Mr. Reynolds will be with you in just a moment. Please have a seat." Anna sat down. Her hands were shaking slightly. She held her folder of documents tightly against her chest, the same way many of us hold on to something when we are afraid. A few minutes later, a tall man in a gray suit walked out. "Anna? Hi, I'm David Reynolds, the office manager here. Thanks so much for coming in today. Right this way." Anna followed him into a small meeting room. They sat down across from each other. David smiled warmly, trying to make her comfortable, and said, "So, before we get into the details, why don't you just tell me a little about yourself?" And there it was, the exact question Anna had been dreading. Her mind, just like she had imagined the night before, went completely blank for a second. But this time, something was different. Because 2 weeks earlier, Anna had found a channel just like this one, and she had practiced this exact question out loud more than 20 times. And in that frozen second, her mouth remembered what her mind could not. Let's learn what Anna said, and let's learn it the same way she did. Piece by piece, until it becomes automatic for you too. This is the first phrase group of today's lesson, and it is one of the most important phrases in any job interview in America. The word is qualifications. Repeat after me. Qualifications. Good. Qualification simply means the skills, the experience, and the education that make you good for a job. Think of it like this. It means the reasons you can do this job well. Here are 2 examples. My qualifications include 5 years of customer service experience. Second example. I believe my qualifications make me a strong candidate for this position. Now, it's your turn. Try to make one sentence using the word qualifications. Take a moment, say it out loud, even if it's not perfect. Let's move to the next word, availability. Repeat after me. Availability. This word means the days and hours when you are free to work. In a simpler way, it means when you can work. Here are 2 examples. My availability is Monday through Friday, mornings only. Second example, I have full availability starting next week. Now you try. Say one sentence with the word availability out loud. Right now. Next word, reference. Repeat after me. Reference. A reference is a person who can talk about you and your work to the employer, someone who knows you professionally and can say good things about you. In simple words, it means someone who can speak for you. Here are 2 examples. I can provide 2 professional references if needed. Second example. My former manager agreed to be a reference for me. Now it's your turn. Try one sentence with the word reference. Now let's put these 3 words together, the way Anna did, inside a real conversation. because learning words alone is not enough. You need to hear how they connect inside a real sentence, spoken by a real person under real pressure. Listen to this short exchange between David and Anna, and then we will shadow the whole thing together. David says, "So, tell me a little about yourself." Anna answers, "Sure. I have 3 years of experience working in an office environment back home, so I believe my office qualifications are a strong match for this role. I'm currently available full-time, and I have 2 former supervisors who agreed to be references for me." Now, let's shadow this together, slowly, piece by piece. I have 3 years of experience. Say it. I believe my qualifications are a strong match. Say it. I'm currently available full-time. Say it. I have 2 former supervisors who agreed to be references. Say it. Beautiful. You just spoke an entire professional introduction in English. Notice how it flows. Notice how natural it sounds. This is exactly the kind of sentence you can prepare tonight. Before your next interview, and have ready in your mouth before anyone even asks the question. David nodded, clearly impressed. He continued the interview, asking about her previous experience. Anna answered smoothly for the next few questions, feeling her confidence slowly build with every sentence. But then David asked a question that Anna had not prepared for. He leaned forward slightly and said, "So, what are your salary expectations for this position?" This is the moment. This is the exact type of moment we talked about. At the beginning of this lesson, the moment where everything you know can suddenly disappear from your mind if you have not practiced it. Anna felt her stomach drop. In her head, she thought, "I don't know how to say this. I don't know if I should give a number. I don't know what is polite in America." For 3 long seconds, she said nothing. Let's pause the story here, because this is exactly where I want to teach you the next essential phrase. The phrase Anna wished she already knew in that moment. The phrase is salary expectations. Repeat after me. Salary expectations. Sent. This means the amount of money you hope or expect to be paid for a job. In simple terms, it means how much you want to be paid. Here are 2 examples. My salary expectations are between $18 and $22 an hour. Second example, I'm flexible with my salary expectations depending on the benefits offered. Now, you try. Say one sentence using the phrase salary expectations out loud. Let's add one more important phrase here. Something that helps you if you truly do not know what number to say, and this is a lifesaver phrase for beginners. The phrase is, "What is the typical range for this position?" Repeat after me. What is the typical range for this position? This is a polite, professional way to ask the employer to give you a number first, instead of you having to guess. Many Americans use this exact strategy, and it is completely normal and respected. Let's shadow it one more time, a little faster this time. What is the typical range for this position? Good. Keep this sentence close to your heart. It can save you in a moment just like Anna's. Anna took a breath. She remembered the phrase she had practiced, and instead of freezing completely, she said, "Based on my research and experience, my salary expectations are around $19 an hour, but I'm also happy to hear what the typical range is for this position." David smiled and nodded. "That's very reasonable. We were thinking somewhere around 18 to 20, so that works well." Just like that, the terrifying moment had passed, not perfectly, not without nervousness, but successfully, because Anna had one sentence ready, and that one sentence was enough to keep the conversation moving. Let's shadow that full sentence together one more time, because it is worth repeating until it becomes truly automatic in your mouth. Based on my research and experience. Say it. My salary expectations are around $19 an hour. Say it. And remember, you can change this number to match your own real situation. But I'm also happy to hear what the typical range is for this position. Say it one more time, the whole sentence together, slowly. Based on my research and experience, my salary expectations are around $19 an hour, but I'm also happy to hear what the typical range is for this position. I want you to notice something important about what just happened in Anna's story. She did not need to be perfect. Her English was not flawless. Her accent was still noticeable. But she had prepared specific sentences for specific moments of danger, and that preparation is what carried her through the interview when her nerves tried to take over. This is exactly the strategy we are building together in this lesson, and we are only getting started. Let's continue. Anna's interview, because there is one more moment of real pressure coming. A moment many of you will recognize immediately, and it involves a question about a weakness. But before we go there, let's take a short pause and do a quick review of everything we've learned so far, because repetition is what turns new words into permanent memory. Listen and shadow each one with me. One more time. A little quicker now. Qualifications. Say it. Availability. Say it. Reference. Say it. Salary expectations. Say it. What is the typical range for this position? Say it. Wonderful. These 5 pieces of vocabulary alone can carry you through the first half of almost any job interview in America. Now, let's go back into the room with Anna and David, because the interview was not over yet, and the next question David asked was one that makes almost every English learner's heart skip a beat, no matter how much they've studied. David looked down at his notes for a second, then looked back up at Anna with a friendly but serious expression and said, "All right, last question for now. What would you say is one area you're currently working to improve?" This question terrifies people, not because it's hard to understand, but because in the moment, under pressure, it feels impossible to organize your thoughts fast enough. You want to sound honest, but not weak. You want to sound confident, but not arrogant. And in that split second of thinking, So many English learners simply say nothing at all, or they panic and say something that doesn't really answer the question. This is exactly why, in a few moments, we are going to build you a ready-made structure for this exact question. One you can adapt to any answer you want to give in any interview for the rest of your life. But first, let's take a breath together. Relax your shoulders and get ready to keep building. You are doing wonderfully so far, and every single phrase you are shadowing today is becoming a small tool that you can reach for the next time you feel that same fear Anna felt in that quiet meeting room. Let's go back into that quiet meeting room with Anna, right where David just asked her that question. What would you say is one area you're currently working to improve? Anna felt her chest tighten again, the same feeling from before, but this time she remembered something important. She did not need a perfect answer. She just needed a structure, a shape to hold her thoughts inside, so her words would not scatter in every direction. And that structure is exactly what I want to give you right now, before we continue with Anna's story. Then, here is the phrase that can save you in this exact moment, no matter what job you're interviewing for. The phrase is, one area I'm currently working to improve is, repeat after me. One area I'm currently working to improve is. This is a soft, safe, professional opening. It buys you a second to think, and it immediately shows the employer that you are honest and self-aware, two qualities that almost every employer values deeply. Let's shadow it again. A little slower this time. One area I'm currently working to improve is. Now, after that opening, you need a small, honest example. Something real, but not too serious, and then a sentence showing what you are doing about it. This is the full pattern. Let's learn the next important word inside this pattern. The word is confidence. Repeat after me. Confidence. Confidence means feeling sure of yourself, feeling capable, feeling brave enough to try something even when it feels difficult. In simpler words, it means believing in yourself. Here are two examples. I'm working on building more confidence when speaking in group meetings. Second example. My confidence has grown a lot since I started this job. Now it's your turn. Try one sentence using the word confidence out loud right now. Let's add one more useful phrase to this pattern. The phrase is, and I'm actively working on it by. Repeat after me. And I'm actively working on it by. This phrase shows action, and action is what employers truly respect. It's not enough to just admit a weakness. You must show that you are doing something about it. Let's shadow it one more time. And I'm actively working on it by. Good. Now, let's put the entire pattern together. The exact words Anna finally used with David in that room. Listen first, all the way through. One area I'm currently working to improve is my confidence when speaking English in professional settings, especially on the phone. And I'm actively working on it by practicing daily and putting myself in situations like this interview where I have to use it. Now, let's shadow the whole thing together, piece by piece. One area I'm currently working to improve. Say it. Is my confidence when speaking English in professional settings, especially on the phone. Say it, and I'm actively working on it. Say it by practicing daily and putting myself in situations like this interview where I have to use it. Say it. Now, the full sentence, one more time, slowly from the beginning. One area I'm currently working to improve is my confidence. When speaking English in professional settings, especially on the phone, and I'm actively working on it by practicing daily and putting myself in situations like this interview where I have to use it. David smiled, and this time it was as a different kind of smile, a genuine one. He leaned back in his chair and said, "Honestly, Anna, that's a really mature answer. A lot of people either say they have no weaknesses at all, which nobody believes, or they say something that makes me worried about hiring them. What you just said tells me you're self-aware and you're actively working on yourself. I respect that a lot." Anna felt something shift inside her chest, something warm replacing the fear that had been sitting there since the night before. For the first time since she walked into that office, she actually smiled back, a real smile, not a nervous one. Let's pause here for a moment, because I want you to notice something. Anna did not become fluent overnight. Anna did not memorize an entire dictionary. What Anna did was much smaller and much more powerful. She prepared 4 or 5 key sentences for the 4 or 5 moments she knew were coming. The moments that create the most fear. And when those moments arrived, she did not need to build sentences from nothing. In real time, she simply reached into her memory and pulled out the sentence that was already there, waiting, ready. This is exactly what we are building together in this lesson, piece by piece. And this is exactly what you can build for your own next interview, whether it's tomorrow or next month or 6 months from now. Now, let's move into a new part of today's lesson, because after this interview finished, Anna faced one more challenge. A challenge many of you will face too, and that is what happens after the interview, during the waiting and the follow-up. But before we get there, let's do something important. Let's practice fast, reflex-style speaking, using some of the most common sentence patterns you will need throughout any job search or work situation in America. Using C. This next part moves quickly, so stay with me and try to answer as fast as you can without stopping to translate. We're going to use 4 simple sentence frames, and I'm going to give you several different endings for each one after another, quickly. Your job is to say the full sentence out loud immediately as soon as you hear it. This builds something called muscle memory, where your mouth starts producing English automatically without your brain needing to translate first. Let's begin with the first frame. Can I ask you a question about? Ready? The position. Say the full sentence. Can I ask you a question about the position? Next ending. The schedule. Say it. Can I ask you a question about the schedule? Next ending. The benefits. Say it. Can I ask you a question about the benefits? Next ending. The dress code. Say it. Can I ask you a question about the dress code? Wonderful. You just built 4 complete professional sentences in under a minute. Let's move to the second frame. I need to. Ready? Confirm my start date. Say it. I need to confirm my start date. Next ending. Update my availability. Say it. I need to update my availability. Next ending. Speak with the manager. Say it. I need to speak with the manager. Next ending. Reschedule my interview. Say it. I need to reschedule my interview. Excellent work. Third frame. Where is? Ready? The front desk. Say it. Where is the front desk? Next ending. The break room. Say it. Where is the break room? Next ending. The parking area. Say it. Where is the parking area? Next ending. The Human Resources Office. Say it. Where is the Human Resources Office? Perfect. Fourth frame, and this one connects perfectly back to what we practiced earlier. How much does? Ready? This position pay? Say it. How much does this position pay? Next ending. Overtime pay. Say it. How much does overtime pay? Next ending. Health insurance cost. Say it. How much does health insurance cost? Last one. Parking cost here. Say it. How much does parking cost here? Beautifully done. Look at how many complete, natural, professional sentences you just produced in only a few minutes. Sentences you can genuinely use in a real American workplace, starting today. Now, let's return to Anna, because her story is not finished yet, and the next part is something almost every single person watching this video will experience at some point. That quiet, nervous waiting period after an interview. When you don't know if you got the job or not, and then the moment your phone actually rings. The interview with David ended warmly. He shook Anna's hand and said, "We're interviewing a couple more candidates this week, but I'll be in touch by Friday either way." Anna walked out of that office feeling lighter than she had in weeks. She had survived it. She had spoken clearly. She had used the sentences she practiced, and even when her mind went blank for a moment, she had something ready to reach for. But now came a different kind of stress, the waiting. Wednesday passed. Thursday passed. Anna kept checking her phone every few hours, her heart jumping a little every time it buzzed, only to see it was just a message from her sister or a notification from an app. By Thursday evening, she had almost convinced herself that she didn't get the job, that David's warm smile and kind words meant nothing, that this was simply how Americans were polite, even when they meant no. Then, on Friday morning at exactly 9:45, her phone rang, an unknown number. Anna's heart nearly stopped. She stared at the screen for 2 full rings before she finally answered. Let's pause right here, because this is another one of those critical, high-pressure moments where English learners often freeze completely. The unexpected phone call. Answering a call is actually harder than an in-person conversation for many people. Because you cannot see the other person's face, you cannot read their body language. And sometimes the connection isn't perfectly clear. So let's build you the exact tools you need for this moment. Right now, before we go back to hear what happened with Anna's call. The first phrase is simple, but incredibly important. Hi, this is. Repeat after me. Hi, this is. This is how Americans typically answer a phone call professionally, especially when they don't recognize the number or when they are expecting an important call. Let's shadow it. Hi, this is. And then, of course, you would add your own name. Hi, this is Anna. Next phrase, something you can say if the person is speaking too fast for you to understand fully, which happens often on phone calls since you can't read lips or expressions. The phrase is, could you speak a little slower, please? Repeat after me. Could you speak a little slower, please? This is such an important phrase to have ready because on the phone, without it, many people simply pretend to understand, say yes to everything, and then miss important information completely. Let's shadow it one more time, clearly. Could you speak a little slower, please? One more essential phone phrase. I just want to make sure I understood correctly. Repeat after me. I just want to make sure I understood correctly. This phrase allows you to repeat back what you heard, to confirm it without seeming unintelligent or unprepared. In fact, in American workplace culture, confirming details like this is seen as careful and professional, not weak. Let's shadow it again. I just want to make sure I understood correctly. Now, let's go back to Anna and let's listen to exactly what happened on that call using the phrases we just learned. Anna answered, her voice a little shaky. Hi, this is Anna. The voice on the other end was David, sounding cheerful. Hi, Anna, it's David from the accounting office. How are you doing today? Anna took a breath and answered. I'm doing well. Thank you. How are you? David continued speaking, and for a moment he spoke a little quickly, mentioning the position, the start date, and the pay rate all together in one long sentence. Anna felt herself starting to lose track of the details, but instead of panicking silently, she remembered the phrase she had just practiced with me only days before. She said calmly, "Could you speak a little slower, please? I just want to make sure I understood everything correctly." David immediately slowed down, completely unbothered. Of course, no problem at all. So, we'd love to offer you the position. The start date would be next Monday, and the pay rate is $19 an hour, exactly what we discussed. Does that work for you? For a second, Anna couldn't quite believe what she was hearing. She had gotten the job, actually gotten it. All those weeks of applications, all those nights of worry, and this one nerve-wracking phone call, they had all led to this exact moment. She smiled so wide that David could probably hear it in her voice when she answered. Yes, that works perfectly for me. Thank you so much, David. I'm really excited to start. Let's shadow that beautiful, confident response together, because moments like this deserve to be practiced too, not just the difficult moments, but the joyful ones. Yes, that works perfectly for me. Say it. Thank you so much. Say it. I'm really excited to start. Say it. Notice how natural and warm this sentence sounds. This is the kind of response that leaves a wonderful final impression with any employer. Before we continue Anna's story into her very first day at work, which is where our final and most practical part of today's lesson takes place, let's do one more quick review of everything we've built together so far. Because your brain learns best through repetition, layered again and again, until these words feel like they've always belonged to you. Listen and shadow with me. A little faster this time. Qualifications. Say it. Availability. Say it. Reference. Say it. Salary expectations. Say it. One area I'm currently working to improve is say it. Confidence. Say it. Hi, this is. Say it. Could you speak a little slower, please? Say it. I just want to make sure I understood correctly. Say it. Look at everything you just said. Out loud. In English. In only a few minutes. This is not memorization for a test. This is real, usable, survival-level English. The kind of English that changes what actually happens to you in real American workplaces, real interviews, real phone calls, and real conversations that decide whether you get the job, keep the job, or grow inside that job. Now, take a breath with me. Relax your shoulders one more time. We still have Anna's first day at work ahead of us. And trust me, it holds one more moment of real pressure, a moment involving a confused coworker, a misunderstood instruction, and one final phrase that will complete your survival toolkit for the workplace. But that part is coming next, and I promise you, it's worth staying for because it ties every single phrase we've learned today into one final, real, breathing moment, exactly like the ones waiting for you in your own life here in America. Ga so one de tip-top kickban. 1. Let's step into Monday morning with Anna, her very first day at the small accounting office, the same office where, just a few days earlier, she had been sitting nervously across from David, unsure if her English would be good enough. Now, she was walking through those same doors as an employee. The office was busier than Anna expected. Phones ringing softly in the background, printers humming, a few coworkers chatting near a coffee machine. David greeted her warmly at the front desk. Anna, welcome. Let me introduce you to the team, and then I'll get you set up at your desk. He walked her around, introducing coworker after coworker, names blending together in Anna's nervous mind, faces smiling kindly, hands reaching out to shake hers. Finally, David led her to a woman sitting at a desk near the filing cabinets, maybe in her 50s, with kind eyes and a warm smile. Anna, this is Linda. She's been with us for over 10 years, and she's going to help train you for the first couple of weeks. Linda, this is Anna, our new receptionist and admin assistant. Linda stood up and shook Anna's hand firmly. Welcome aboard, Anna. Don't worry. We'll get you settled in nice and easy. First day nerves are totally normal. Anna appreciated Linda's warmth immediately, but as the morning went on, she began to realize something important, something that many newcomers discover on their very first day at any American job. Understanding textbook English and understanding a real coworker, speaking quickly, casually, using workplace shortcuts and idioms are two completely different skills. Around 11 o'clock, Linda walked over to Anna's desk, holding a stack of papers. She spoke quickly, the way people speak when they've done a task hundreds of times and forget that it's brand new for someone else. Hey, Anna, can you go ahead and file these under the client tab and then shoot David a quick email once you're done, just so he's in the loop? Anna froze for a second, her mind racing. She understood the individual words, mostly, but the meaning of the full sentence felt slippery, like trying to hold water in her hands. What did shoot David an email mean? Was Linda asking her to physically send something urgent? And what did in the loop mean? Was this some kind of workplace circle she needed to understand? This is exactly the kind of moment that terrifies so many English learners on their first days at work in America. Not because their English is bad, but because native speakers use casual, idiomatic phrases without even realizing it, phrases that were never taught in a traditional classroom. Let's pause the story here, because I want to give you the exact tools Anna needed in this moment, tools that will help you in your own first days at any American workplace. The first phrase is your safety net for this entire situation. It is, sorry, could you clarify what you mean by? Repeat after me. Sorry, could you clarify what you mean by? This phrase is polite, professional, and shows genuine effort to understand correctly, rather than simply guessing and making a mistake. Let's shadow it slowly. Sorry, could you clarify what you mean by? Now, let's actually learn what those two workplace phrases mean, because you will hear them constantly in American offices, restaurants, warehouses, and stores. The first one is shoot someone an email, which simply means send someone a quick email. It's casual and friendly, not urgent or dramatic at all. Here are two examples. I'll shoot you an email with the details later today. Second example. Can you shoot me the file when you get a chance? Now it's your turn. Try one sentence using the phrase, shoot someone an email. The second phrase is in the loop, which means informed, aware of what's happening. When someone wants to be in the loop, they simply want updates so they're not left confused later. Here are two examples. Please keep me in the loop about any changes to the schedule. Second example. I wasn't in the loop about the meeting, so I missed it. Now you try. Say one sentence using the phrase in the loop. Let's go back to Anna, and let's hear how she handled this exact moment using the phrase we just practiced. Instead of guessing, instead of nodding and pretending she understood everything perfectly, Anna looked at Linda and said, calmly, sorry, could you clarify what you mean By shooting David an email? Do you mean I should send him a summary once I'm finished filing? Linda smiled, not annoyed at all, actually looking a little impressed. Yes, exactly. Just a quick one. Nothing fancy, just letting him know it's done. You're picking things up fast. Anna felt a small wave of relief wash over her. She hadn't pretended. She hadn't guessed wrong and made a mistake with the client files. She had simply asked clearly and politely and gotten exactly the information she needed. This, more than anything else in this entire lesson, is the true lesson hidden inside Anna's story. Asking for clarification is not a weakness. It is one of the most powerful professional tools any English learner can carry in Let's shadow in a chain's workplace. Let's shadow that full exchange one more time, because it deserves to live permanently in your memory. Sorry. Could you clarify what you mean? Say it. By shooting David an email? Say it. Do you mean I should send him a summary once I'm finished filing? Say it. Beautiful. You just handled a real workplace misunderstanding with grace, clarity, and complete professionalism. In English, exactly the way Anna did. As the day continued, Anna grew a little more comfortable with each passing hour. She filed the papers correctly. She sent David a short, friendly email, just as Linda had asked. Around lunchtime, Linda invited her to sit with a few of the other office staff in the small break room. Anna sat quietly at first, listening to the easy, casual conversation flowing around her. Coworkers talking about their weekend plans, a new coffee shop that had opened nearby, someone's dog that had gotten into trouble chewing a shoe. At one point, a coworker named Rachel turned to Anna and asked in a warm, curious tone, "So, Anna, how's your first day going so far? Settling in okay?" This was a simple, friendly question, the kind Anna would hear dozens of times over the coming weeks and months, and it deserved a simple, friendly, confident answer, not a nervous, overly formal one. Anna smiled and answered, "It's going really well, actually. Everyone's been super welcoming, and Linda's been a great help showing me the ropes." Rachel laughed warmly. "Oh, don't worry. Linda's the best. She trained basically half the office." Anna laughed too, a genuine, relaxed laugh, the kind that only comes when you finally feel like you belong somewhere. Let's shadow this last little exchange together because it shows something beautiful. English used not for survival, not for solving a problem, but simply for connection, for building relationships with the people around you, which in the end is really what all of this practice is truly for. It's going really well, actually. Say it. Everyone's been super welcoming. Say it. And Linda's been a great help showing me the ropes. Say it. Notice that phrase, showing me the ropes. This is another common workplace idiom, meaning teaching me how things work here. You'll hear it often, so keep it close. By the end of that first day, Anna walked out of the office into the late afternoon sunlight, and she felt something she hadn't felt in a very long time, something bigger than relief, bigger than pride. She felt capable. She felt like someone who belonged in this new country, in this new job, in this new language that just 1 week earlier had felt like an impossible wall standing between her and everything she wanted. Now, before we close today's lesson, let's do one final, complete review together, pulling every single piece of vocabulary and every single phrase from Anna's entire journey into one powerful, flowing practice round. This is where everything locks into place, permanently in your memory. So listen closely and shadow every single line with full energy and full confidence because you have earned it today. Let's begin. Qualifications. Qualifications. Say it. Availability. Say it. Reference. Say it. Salary expectations. Say it. What is the typical range for this position? Say it. One area I'm currently working to improve is. Say it. Confidence. Say it. And I'm actively working on it by. Say it. Hi, this is. Say it. Could you speak a little slower, please? Say it. I just want to make sure I understood correctly. Say it. Sorry, could you clarify what you mean by? Say it. Shoot someone an email. Say it. In the loop. Say it. Showing me the ropes. Say it. Look at everything you just said out loud today. Every single one of those phrases is now living inside your memory, ready to be pulled out the moment you need it, exactly the way Anna pulled hers out in that quiet meeting room, on that nerve-wracking phone call, and at that busy desk on her very first day. You didn't just listen to a story today. You lived through Anna's entire journey with her, sentence by sentence, moment by moment, and your mouth, your ears, and your mind all practiced it together, out loud, in real time. I want you to remember something important as we close today's lesson. Fluency isn't about knowing every single word in the English language. It never has been, and it never will be. Fluency is about having the right sentence, ready, waiting, in exactly the moment you need it most. The way Anna had her sentence ready when her mind went blank. The way she had her sentence ready when the phone rang unexpectedly. The way she had her sentence ready when a kind but fast-talking coworker used a phrase she'd never heard before. That readiness, that preparation, that is what we've been building together today, one shadowed sentence at a time. And here's something beautiful to hold on to. The very next time you find yourself sitting across from a hiring manager or answering an unexpected phone call or standing confused in front of a coworker who's speaking just a little too fast, you won't freeze the way you might have before. You'll remember Anna. You'll remember her voice shaking slightly as she said, "Sorry, could you clarify what you mean by that?" And you'll realize that you already have the exact words you need sitting quietly in your memory, ready to step forward and carry you through, just like they carried her. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I'm so proud of the work you've put in through this entire lesson. If today's practice helped you even a little, please make sure you're subscribed to EFL USA so you never miss a new lesson. And don't forget to tap that bell so you're notified the moment a new episode goes live. Next time, we're going to step into a completely different kind of pressure. The world of English for shopping and daily errands, where one small misunderstanding at the checkout counter can cost you real money if you're not prepared. And trust me, I'll make sure you are. Until then, keep practicing a little every single day, the way Anna did, and I promise, your English will keep growing stronger, one sentence at a time. See you in the next lesson.